Hi, welcome to Nerding Out. My name is Chastity, and we're going to be talking about things that we like, and one of those things is Doctor Strange, the latest movie from Marvel Studios. I'm here with my buddy Tony today. Let's jump into some Doctor Strange talk. All right, so first we have the Marvel movies have been kind of, action, Avengers, Iron Man. They're all kind of the same thing. This is a very different take on a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Doctor Strange has magic.
Yeah. So I think they're taking some risks. They're not doing the same thing. They have a successful superhero formula, but they're like, we're gonna do magic. We're gonna introduce a whole other corner, and it worked. The origin, they got it down pretty well. He was an arrogant surgeon, got in a car accident, hands ruined, all that was there. What I felt, the origin in the movie, it felt like it went kind of quickly.
It did.
Where all of a sudden,
he got powerful too quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
And after I said that to you, then I was thinking, it's like, well, how much time really passed? How much time did he spend training? Because, they did show he was reading a lot of books, and he mentioned he's got a photographic memory.
Right.
So maybe, and then the Ancient One does say, it's like, oh, you got some innate ability inside you. It just seemed a little convenient, like all of a sudden, like, I can do all this magic.
It was very convenient. It just happened extremely fast. I would have liked to see that a little more gradual. Yeah. I know they only had X amount of time.
And they did some sputtering parts where he's trying to do the teleporting loop thing. But
his struggle was so short that he became super powerful.
Because he fights Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, and it's like, wait.
Instantly. It's just like, you can take him on?
He killed this other dude, and you're fighting him. Yeah. So
let's talk about the cape.
Oh, the cape was great.
The cape was awesome. So what's the story behind the cape?
So it's a magic cape. It can do stuff. But did it remind you of anything else when you were watching it? I was reminded of another Disney property.
Wait, Fantasia?
Kind of. I was thinking more like Aladdin, the rug.
The carpet. Yeah. Yes.
So I was like, are they trying to do that? I mean, at first I was like, it's, again, the humor.
Yes.
They were putting some humor in there.
It was the same exact humor as the carpet. Yeah.
But it was cool how it helped them because that did add to the part where he's not a sorcerer supreme yet, and he's fighting all this stuff, and the cape was kind of helping him, trying to say, you need to go over here.
Yeah.
It was humorous, but it also helped that he's not this expert fighter yet.
So why was he chosen by the cape?
Maybe because what the Ancient One said, that he's got this natural, he's destined to be the Sorcerer Supreme or something like that.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah.
So he gets the cape.
To me, it seemed like they broke the case, and the cape's like, all right, thanks. I'm going to help you out now.
I'll help this guy because he's less evil, I guess.
Yeah. And then he also had the Eye of Agamotto. Agamotto, I think they said. I always said Agamotto, but they said Agamotto.
I think they said Agamotto.
So I always get it wrong. Yeah. So that was interesting, but there was a pretty big spoiler with that, which was rumored. Which I guess we can talk about it.
Yes, we could talk about it.
Because I mean people suspected that was going to be one of the Infinity Stones,
and
they actually say it.
Yes.
They're like, this one. They actually
Wong
said
says,
Infinity Stones.
You can't just go walking around with an Infinity Stone.
I was like,
we're like, oh,
you can't make it any clearer than that. Yep. It's an Infinity Stone.
There it is.
So it is weird because Doctor Strange, he always has it, but in the movie, he's like, okay, I'm going to put it back over here.
It's like, I'm going to keep this right
It's
here.
just going to sit in this room, not guarded at all. Anyone can walk through one of these three doors.
Anyone can walk through and just grab this.
No glass case or anything.
I don't think that's very safe.
Yeah, so.
We're talking about Doctor Strange. Let's talk about some of the other characters in this movie. So we have Mads Mikkelsen, who's an incredible actor, but he's playing this extremely obscure character. Who is this?
Yeah, so Calicius, I mean...
Caecilius?
Yeah. Try to find an image, a comic panel. There's a small little image. Like, I think there's only one panel, and it's like the blurriest thing.
Right.
But he had this big role. He was kind of the main villain.
He was the main baddie throughout until maybe the last quarter of the movie.
And he was great actor. So it does add to it. At first it's like, oh, here's this bad guy. He's trying to ruin everything. Yeah. But he does a good performance. You have to define the villain by the performance. And what are his goals? He wants I don't even know. He wanted to destroy the world. He wanted immortality and all this stuff. And the visuals were distracting enough in a good way. Yeah. They're like, okay, maybe I don't need to think so much about the whole plan.
Yeah. So his motivations were vague to me, but the action itself, like, he was a badass. He was very, very threatening.
Yeah.
And you just could feel that he was going to kick your butt.
Yeah.
No matter what. So he did the best he could with that character. Yeah. So let's also talk about Dormammu.
Yeah.
So Dormammu is eventually the big baddie of
and that was a surprise because they didn't mention. Now apparently You know who played Dormammu?
No.
It was Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm pretty sure. It was
Really?
like a secret role.
Is that true?
I think that because I was seeing that like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch doing this other other role, and I was like, what other role? And I was like, wait, what did he play?
So he's talking to himself at the end?
I think so. They did it a little differently, but because
he's got a great voice.
Yeah, Dormammu is like a big time, like probably his biggest villain. And when they're like, okay, they're not going with him, they're going with this other obscure guy.
Right.
But then they bring him in, so then you do get a good scope of like, this guy is massive. He's this powerful other universe entity.
I wasn't sure what they were going to do with him or what they could do with him, but when I mentioned him first in the movie, I got excited. I'm like, okay, cool, because I always equate, Doctor Strange with Dormammu, and that's the clashing pair. But I was like, yeah, how are they going to depict Dormammu? But yeah, he's kind of like this larger than life, but also it was a little comedic as well because he was stuck in a time loop. And he's just like, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, so he's going to be ticked off. So he'll probably be back someday, even though he said he wouldn't. But
yeah, I don't know. He's a little more threatening in the comics, I think. Yeah. And then we have the Ancient One. So there was a lot of controversy around this character because in the comics, it's an Asian man. And we have Tilda Swinton playing the Ancient One. So there was a lot of talk about whitewashing the character, which really kind of angered me at first because I was pretty pissed that they were going with a white actor or actress for the character. But I think Tilda Swinton did a good job with what she had, and I'm glad it was a woman at least. If it was a white man, I would have been really pissed.
Yeah. So at least I got a woman,
Really pissed. So at least it was a woman, and she did a good job with what she had, but I feel like it would have been extremely more progressive if they had gotten an Asian actor for the role.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I remember, they did discuss like their decision why they did it and how... there's been several different Ancient Ones, and I think they were saying they didn't want to go to stereotypical, like, oh, we're like in the, whatever in this country, and, so we got to have, so it seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's extremely missed opportunity, but at least I like that it was a woman. It would have been even greater if it was an Asian woman. That I would have been really down for.
And also what was nice is, another difference is, the Ancient One had a lot of action. In the comics, the Ancient One, from what I recall, didn't really do a whole lot until he
hangs back and just advises and teaches.
She was out there getting hardcore and kicking butt, and so that was cool. It was weird, a weird direction, a weird decision,
a little Matrixy.
Yeah, so it worked, but I still don't buy why they
could have been done better.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. So let's talk about Christine Palmer also. So in the comics, what are the differences with Christine?
So in the comics, Christine is night nurse. So it's basically Rosario Dawson, Claire Temple in Daredevil. And when they did that character, they told them, don't use night nurse because we want to use that later. But then Rachel McAdams is not night nurse. She's a surgeon. And she kind of, we talked about before. Yeah, she kind of does the role. She does some superhero stuff. So whether she's going to do that later, we'll have to see. So at first I was a little concerned. I was like, that's it? She's going to be out of the movie now?
I would have liked to see more of her or just more of her outside of the hospital. So she was basically playing night nurse in this movie.
And
she would
she
just
was
show
great.
up and be like, I need you to fix me. I need you to fix her.
And she's like, that's all I'm good for? It's like, but I mean, I love Rachel McAdams. She's great. So it was nice that she did come back. She did have some other not huge roles, but she was there. It'll be interesting to see how they use it. I mean, is she just going to still be at the hospital whenever he gets injured? And which
I would like to see her used for more, especially because it's Rachel McAdams and she's such a great actress.
That would be a waste.
So we have 2 end credit scenes. We have one mid-credit scene and one very after the credit scene. Let's talk about the last one first, since it ties into the next sequel. So in the next sequel, Mordo is left at the end, and we see him go up to Benjamin Bratt's character and take away his ability to walk. So he takes his power away.
He says there's too many
sorcerers in the world.
Which makes sense. So that was a big difference for Mordo, because in the comics, he was there when Stephen Strange first found the Ancient One. And then right away, pretty much you find out that he's kind of the shady guy, that he wants to betray the Ancient One. So it was weird that from the trailers and everything, you see like, oh, these guys are almost like buddies. They're running through the streets of New York together, and it's like they're really changing the character. And you had a feeling that he's gonna fall from grace and all that. So they set that up. So now, because besides Dormammu, Mordo's probably like
Right.
the second biggest Doctor Strange villain. So they set that up. If
he's
and when
the
we
villain
get
in the sequel.
Doctor Strange 2,
And that's
he's
what
there.
we can count on. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's going to try to take out all the sorcerers.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right, and so let's talk about that mid-credit scene, which was super fun, and all of the Marvel fans are going to love this scene
Yes.
because it's Doctor Strange talking to Thor.
Yeah. And that was a surprise because they've mentioned, I think they've confirmed Doctor Strange will be in Infinity
War,
Avengers.
yes.
So we knew that. But now it seems like he's going to be.
Set up for Ragnarok.
Yeah. Because they said before it's going to be Thor and Hulk. You know, where's Hulk been since Age of Ultron?
Right.
But now, so they've just finished wrapping Thor Ragnarok. So somehow Benedict Cumberbatch snuck onto the set, did that, because I haven't heard anything about him being on there. So that pretty much, I think, confirms that he's going to play some role. Because he's like, you
offers
guys
to
are
help
kind
him.
of a threat to the earthly planes.
Yeah, it's like, we need to get you out of here.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll
how
help
do I
you,
help you
and you can leave.
so you can leave and get out of here.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's great. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
more Doctor Strange
Sooner.
working with other Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Very soon. So that'll be next.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah. So all in all, Doctor Strange, worth seeing.
Yes.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
You recommend it?
Yeah, I'm going to see it again.
Great. So go check out Doctor Strange. I'm sure you have already if you're watching this spoiler cast.
I hope.
And for all your nerding out, check out GameSpot Universe.